Good afternoon, I'm TerryTopCat for TerryTopCat Purrsents for Clusterview.com. I'm with the wonderful Benji Webbe from Dub War, Skindred. How are you, sir?
I'm fantastic on a beautiful day in Wales like this. Newport is a good place to be when the sun's shining.
Absolutely.
And welcome to my home, bro. Welcome to my home.
Happy Easter.
Yeah, all that stuff.
Friday
all that Passover good stuff, yeah? Bless up, King, man. For all the unbelievers and the non-believers.
Yes. So, I first became aware of you when Dub War first came out. I heard Enemy Maker, loved the video.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is this? So, so I bought the records and old school, like yourself, the cassettes when they came, coming back, and CD singles and the vinyl, a couple of things for you to sign as well. So tell me how Dub, you're from Newport, you formed it with Jeff Rose and Richie Glover, and you released your first album in Pain 1995.
Well, I tell you what.
You obviously formed before then.
Yeah, we go back. I mean, I was, the first thing I ever was told I was good at was singing. That was it. When I was a little boy, singing and impersonations. I was telling someone the other day, my parents died real young. In my household, we had a lot of Jamaican music on the radio, and we had a lot of Motown music. That was on the record player, and I remember playing them records. And I reached about 13, 12, and then the Specials come along and blew my mind, and the Sex Pistols come along and blew my mind, and I knew that I wanted to do that. I wanted to be in that thing. My parents passed away, and my brother, who was only 21 at the time, he became my legal guardian. I got this ganja smoking Rastaman brother who's supposed to be bringing me up. So every other now and again, he's going off and he's getting in his van with his friends, and they're going off, and I know he's playing music. So this was going on for like the whole of the summer, because it's just me and him in the house, and he's leaving me for weekends, and I'm just a kid, but I'm left alone in the house. There ain't no Home Alone thing, you know what I'm saying? This is real shit. There ain't no foam on the face or anything like that. It's your little kid in the house. So the one weekend he says to me, "Do you want to come?" I said, "Yeah, fuck yeah, I'll come." Yeah. So we get out the van. We drive and it seemed like we were driving for days, but it was a few hours. But we drove to Carmarthenshire, and the band was called the Beetroots. And I was a kid in the back. We got out of the van when after driving all day. And when you're a kid, you drive that long. It seems like forever, but it's only like 3-4 hours away. We got out of the van, and as we got out of the van, all these people come up to him and they're loving him and like giving him high fives, and they set their equipment up. They went on stage, they performed, we were dancing, smoking weed, and I'm just like mesmerized. I'm a kid from a shitty housing estate, I'm just watching this thing on my brother, and he's playing the bongos and singing and shit. It was just one of them moments. I'm stood there going, oh my God. After they finished the show, I went backstage and I see the manager collecting money. So I think to myself, hang on a minute. They got out of the van, there's women everywhere, they get paid, they get food. Oh, I'm fucking doing this. I'm doing this. And that's what I thought straight away as a kid. And I thought, how am I going to do this? How do I get this to this? Anyway, and then I went back to school and I was not interested. I was 15 and not interested. I just kept watching musicians and checking for people who were playing the bass and guitar. And I did that for a long time.
So you learned instruments yourself? I
did not learn instruments. The only instrument I think I've mastered is the voice. Right. I didn't. I think I'm a bit lazy. I'm a frustrated pianist. That's all I am. I'd like to play the piano at some stage. It's never too late. Exactly. And I just love music, and I just knew I wanted to do that. And because, like I said, I started listening to a lot of the dancehall Jamaican stuff, and I started doing the voices, and when I did the voice, people were saying, "Fuck, you sound like you're from over there, bro. You sound like you just got off the boat." And I was doing like Tenor Saw, Nitty Gritty, Dennis Brown, all these amazing vocalists, and I wanted to be so much like them. And I was singing on sound systems. That's where it started for me, on the sound systems in the southwest of Bristol, Cardiff, and I did that for a while, and I really chased the dream for about 2 years, and I ended up going to London, the big city, and I recorded a song with the Mad Professor. A drummer, a session drummer of mine, Anthony. He does sessions for Mad Professor, so he did this song. I wrote a song, and he ended up playing it to the Mad Professor, and it was called Life in the Family, and the project was called The Syndicate. So wow, I'm sat in Arrow Studios, Ariwa Studios, recording this song. And I was like, I made it, man. This is it. I'm at the top of the list. That's it. So we did the song, and it sounded fantastic. I would never change it in any way. And I was singing on sound systems. And while I was singing on these sound systems, I mean, I was going up to Birmingham, Huddersfield, Cardiff. I'd meet these sound system men, and they'd say, come sing pan my sound, man. May I give £200 and a big bag of ganja. So anyway, I'd go up, I'd spend my fucking dough money and go on the train to Huddersfield and all these different places and kill the dance. And at the end of the night, I'd have the sound system guy come to me and go, Reggie, me want, say one thing, me have £10 for you, right? And so me I go get a bag of weed, me have a spliff for you. And that was happening time and time again. And I was like, fuck this. And then I had this tune, I had the Life in the Family tune come out, and it got to #1 in the reggae charts at the time. And I remember being in a pub with my mates and going, yeah, you've done well. So anyway, a couple of weeks later, my brother who sorted the session out said, we're going to go up to London to see the Mad Professor and get paid. I'm like, whoa, I'll buy a car, I'll buy a house. I'm going to have, what am I going to do with this money? I can do that. I can go. Yeah. Anyway, got the Mad Professor to put the paper down. I looked at the paper, I said, all right, studio time, this much, advance on this, the drum session, the vocalist, the guitars, the projection, he ended up giving me 40 quid. Right? Which most probably it was. I'm not saying it wasn't, but that sort of snapped me. That was the fucking, after like dealing with all these sound systems, never getting paid the amount of money, I was like, fuck this, man. What am I gonna do, man? This is not the reggae road I thought it was gonna be. This. I'm not Yellow Man. Why ain't I Yellow Man already? I ain't Maxi Priest. Nothing was that. It wasn't happening. So I came home and I was a little frustrated. And a brother of mine just come out of prison, and while he was in prison, he wrote a bunch of songs, and he knew I could do all these different voices. He said, "Brood, I reckon." This is what he said to me. He came to my house. He said, "Listen, I think you can be Lenny Kravitz, bro." He said, fuck this Rasta shit, you can be Lenny Kravitz, right? And I'm like, yeah. So we started, I said, really? I'm believing him because he's one of them people who will tell you something and you'll believe he's one of them. He said, dude, I wrote his songs, he got the song out, he learned me the song, we sang the song, then we went and looked for some musicians to play the song. So we did like 4 or 5 songs, demos, and I was doing what I called the rock voice at the time. It's pretty, when I listen back, it is very much the Living Colour kind of thing, but I did it without even knowing who Living Colour were. It was just a natural for a black man to do rock music. That's the way it sounds, I think. You know what I mean? It ain't being a stereotypical, but I think when you're doing that sort of rasp, that's how you become, I think. Anyway, I did that. That was it. We did the demo. It sounded really good. And I was asked then, Richie, the bass player from Dub War, who was in a band called The Colours, he had the demo that we did. And he was like, dude, you got, come down and knock my door. I said, look, I'm in a band. We're better than them. The guys you're writing with, they're cool, but they're not as good as us. Come and sing with us. So I went to rehearsal with them. We had a couple of rehearsals. And I was still doing the rock thing. And the drummer was playing, and we started this tune like sort of Chili Peppers-y kind of vibe. And I started doing the rock thing. Jim said to me, stop, Benji. I said, what? He said, try. He said, I know you don't want to do it, but try the dancehall stuff on it. Try the Jamaican vibe on top of the punk. I said, fuck that, James. I've been through all that. I don't want to go down the fucking ragged road again. It killed me. They killed me off, bro. It broke my heart. You know what I mean? He said, just try to do. We're going to play some punk shit. Try to do the dancehall stuff on top of it. I give you the benefit of the doubt. Okay, they started up. I started doing the dancehall shit. Bam, the light. Woo, hey man, all that, and I just knew. I was like, I looked at Ginger and I went, fuck me, that's some cool shit. Because I remember then going back. I loved the punk rock as a kid growing up, but obviously with the Rasta thing being black, and you wanted to be blacker than black, didn't you? So that's why I gravitated to that in that way. But yeah, so it just flooded back to me, the whole like rock energy and the punk energy, and that's when Dub War was born.
So around that time, like you said, you mentioned...
Shut up! Go on, yeah.
So around that time, it was a really interesting time for music. So you had Rage Against the Machine, Living Colour. So you had lots of bands with black artists. So being a British artist as well.
Yeah.
So you were one of the four.
What? Listen, I put that up there. Your boy loves it and I loves it. So just leave it there, please. Well, don't look out the window then. I'm doing an interview. Can you shut up, please? Thank you very much. Thank you, Danny. I'll pay you later. Okay. Huh? Don't rip it down, Dane.
Benji.
Your son wants it up there.
Benji.
What?
I'll make a look for that one as well.
Yeah, tell your mother that you're getting Bad Boys up there next month.
Yeah.
Shut up anyway. I'm doing an interview.
You had bands like American bands like Living Colour, Rage Against the Machine, and you were the first four runners of black artists doing the lead singer doing rock music before Skunk Anansie.
A little bit. Big up to Skunk Anansie. A little bit before Skunk Anansie, because it was funny because I didn't know none of this rock stuff. So these guys from Wales, who I'm in this band with called Dub War now, they're taking me to London, and I thought I was just an alternative. I thought it was like an alternative band. I mean, I guess more like the band from Manchester. A little bit, yeah, but we only 93, so 92. We got our deal in 93, so they just come a little later. But that's the category. But then we joined this record label called Earache, and that's when I started learning about all the rock music, because I never knew about rock music before that. You know what I mean? The most rock I knew when I listened. The first time we played in London, we played in Heaven. You know that club Heaven?
Yes,
right? Yeah. We played in Heaven. We played a Wednesday night. There was nobody in there except us. Right?
Oh,
we played in Heaven, and I listened to Ginge said to me, Ginge again, I got this tape with this band from America, bro. You gotta listen to this shit. And we listened to Rage Against the Machine in the van. I mean, the gear is in the van. There's no splitter. We're sat with cushions on top of the equipment. If that van would have rolled over, we'd have looked like fucking corned beef, bro. But that was the way it was. With punk rock, we're in the van, and he put this record on. And I love the guy's voice.
Killing in the Name.
Yes, bro. And I had that whole album. We had that album all the way up to London. And I'd never heard it before. I even got video footage of us setting up the gear while the tape's playing. You know what I mean? Yeah. Old shows go in Heaven. And that was the first show. We never even had the name Dub War then. Okay. We got the name at the time because it was funny, because I always thought that being, you'd have to go to London, but I didn't realise that doors would open straight away, because as soon as we went to London, we played the one show. The first show we played, you can even check this out, the first show Dub War played with the name on the flyer was in Willesden Library, and it was a promotion called Too Black to Rock.
Really?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Too Black to Rock. And I can't remember, there's this guy, he was on the chat show, I remember seeing him on there, and there's another black artist there's a lady, a black singer called Buttons, or in a band called Buttons, and it was like 6 or 7 black artists, black rock bands.
Right.
And from that, there was a guy from One Little Indian who heard of us playing, and he came to the show and watched us. And it really happened quite, from all them years of trying, when I got the deal with Dub War, so
how did that happen with Earache?
It was funny because we were buzzing, we were going back and forth to London. It was so funny because none of us had phones, so we'd have to wait in the phone box for the record company to the phone box outside the rehearsal space. So Ginge would have the number, and he'd have to call the label, and then we'd have to arrange for the label to call the next day at a certain time, and you had to be in there. And if there was someone in the phone box, you had to drag them the fuck out. You know what I mean? Because you're waiting for a call. So Ginge was doing that. He was like sort of managing us like that. But we had Polydor, Sony, all these great labels coming down to Wales, taking us to dinner. And Newport at the time, there was bands like the 60-Foot Dolls, the Manics and all that. So it was a bit of a buzz down here at that time.
Because Spin Magazine...
Yes, they came up...
Like the New Seattle.
The New Seattle, that's what they named it, right? But the funny thing about the Spin, I know I'm talking rambling, but the funny thing about Spin, right, we heard they were coming to town, right? So we said, right, we're going to get the journalist, take him to dinner, get him drunk, have some fun. We did all that shit. They never even fucking mentioned us. Never even mentioned Dub War. They mentioned the 60-foot dolls and some other band, Fly Screen, but we never even got a mention in the magazine. We were like, you motherfucker. And so that's the kind of luck that we had. Ginge used to call it the undoers. It's like we play an amazing show and then someone comes up with one of them things Will Smith got and fucking blanks their memories from us, you know? Yeah, I'm the black guy in the band. Who? But shows are always cool. Yeah. So we had
when you obviously got signing, releasing.
Yeah, we got. Well, that's what I was saying. So it. So we were having all these record labels come down to Wales, and it felt really good because they were taking us in their cars and they were driving Jag. It felt silly, you know, but we were going, wow. You know, I'm managing Belinda Carlisle, and I can manage you too. It was like that, like real stupid things, like 'cause I never even knew. So anyway, we had all these, and then all of a sudden, the phone stopped ringing. Yeah, we had Jeremy Lazal. I remember that dude's name. He came down. Jeremy came down in his Jaguar. Some other people, the guy from Too Shy to Shy, he came down as well. Lamal, the other one, yeah? He came down. We had a bunch of people come down, and then it was like 2 weeks of madness. Polydor's coming down, Sony's coming down, and publishers are coming down. It was real crazy. I went from being like trying to get a deal to fucking pushing people away. Well, anyway, we didn't get the bait. So the phone went quiet for a month, and we're like, fucking hell, what happened there? That was good for a minute. Nah, dude. Next thing you know, Digby called. Well, you guys too. I'm from a record label called Earache Records, and you know, I'd like to take you to dinner and chat to you. Fucking right, we're all starving, yeah, please. We're all hungry as hell. Please take us to dinner. Took us to dinner, said the right things. His heart felt right, and he signed Dub War. You know, thank God he signed Dub War.
And so from that process of, you know, so how do you write music together? So you come up with the lyrics, or is it just organic?
I think we just get in a room with Dub War. We just make noise. I mean, the last album, the new album, Westgate.
Yeah, we'll come on to that.
Yeah, but the first thing was all about meeting in rehearsal, listening to songs. People like Stone Roses, a lot of the Stone Roses tapes we were listening to.
What, the first album?
Yeah, the first album. Well, the second album, we made friends with the Stone Roses because they were just up the street recording so we would like hanging out with them and going up to see Ian Brown and all that stuff. And yeah, but we just get in a room in the boxing club, the small little boxing club, no bigger than this garden, this part of the garden. And we get in there and people be talking about Cypress Hill, so Richie would start playing some bass, like, do that thing like Cypress. It was all like that. It was real funny, like, and
organic.
Yeah, and Richie be there playing his double bass, and like he'd say, I got an idea for the song. Say strike it. He said, just say strike it, and when I play this, strike it, and that's how we just. It was real organic, and that's how we wrote the first album. You know what I mean? And yeah, we was going for 5 years, man. Dub War was going for 5 years.
Did you go to America?
We went to America. We played the Warp Tour. Fuck, that was hard. But the best tour we ever did, and amazing. We went over to America. We did 2 weeks on the Warp Tour. Excuse me. We did 2 weeks on the Warp Tour. Then they chucked us in a van to support these guys from Fishbone and Snot. Me too. I'm still friends with them guys to this day. I'm talking fucking nearly 20 odd years ago. Yeah. So we ended up opening up on the Fishbone and Snot tour. And we made from Friends for Life. Norwood, Franz, Angelo. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So that tour we did, it showed us a lot of stuff. But America was hard. We had a great time. I met David Bowie.
Did you?
Yeah, I met David Bowie. I gotta tell you that, bro. Yeah, I ain't even dropping no names. That's just something amazing. Yeah, so I was over in America at Moby. We played with Moby in what's the place called? Amsterdam, with Fishbone and Moby. That was it, right? Played the show. That was the first time I ever met Fishbone too. And Moby said, "You guys are great. You know, I love you love what you do." And I thought, "Cool, thank you very much." We got to New York, and there was an envelope for the band. Because we were doing press, and this envelope, opened it up and it said, "You're invited to Moby's birthday party." And wow, fucking hell. So we go downtown New York and down these little weird stairs into this basement place. It's packed with people, and as I walk in, Moby's there, and he said, "Oh, I'm so glad you could come." I said, "Dude, you don't know who the fuck we are, do you? You don't know, tell the truth, bro." He said, No, I know you are. You're Benji from Dub War." I was like, "Wow, we do know us. Thank you very much." Went in, stood watching. Moby gets on stage, he's playing because it's like a birthday party gig thing. Stood there, and Jeff Rose is where you are looking back there. He says, "Oh my God." I said, "What?" He said, "Look behind you." I said, "What?" I go, "Motherfucker, that's David Bowie with his wife." But it's funny because even though it wasn't, in my mind, they're elevated above the people. Sat, and he sat in a throne in my mind when I think of it. But he wasn't. He was on a fucking chair with his girlfriend, you know, with his wife and man. And they look so beautiful. You know what I mean? I look and going, oh my God. And Jeff's going, oh God. Oh, he got his beer in his hand, just going, oh God. So I, in my Welshness, in my stupidity, I go, all right, Di, how you doing, mate? How you doing, Di? I across the room, and he's like, say where you are. And he looks like that. He goes, and I go, nice to see you, Di. Lovely to see you, mate. And he turned like this. And he went, I went, wow, okay. I leaned in. He went, my name's David. I thought, okay. I stepped back. I said, I understand. I got you, Your Majesty. I got you. And I stepped back and I thought that was cool. And I went up there. I said, can I have your autograph? He wrote his autograph on a napkin. Yeah. Okay. No, listen to the story now. So I get back to my fucking room in the hotel. A little squatty, horrible little. The next morning, I woke up, went out, come back. And whoever emptied the fucking thing threw it away. So that was it. But that was a great. That's moment, you know, even if I went to New York or went to America just for that. So we had a great time in America. We were never really that successful as such, but the memories, they're priceless.
Absolutely. So
My next guests are from South Wales in the UK. They're here tonight with a song from their latest album, Babylon. Please welcome Skindred.
My song we come to take over. MC, you better look over your shoulder. Yes, you know, we bring it on. Oh, well, no. What's the next one? What's the next one? Them a come and them a try that we out. On down till we are the one next down. Music we make the crowd jump up. Crowd get eye patch, blood underneath my bar. End up the ragga that's up on K-pop. Unity sound chill like groove non-stop. And if it is because of this strong will survive. Trend and balance gonna keep them alive. By song we come to take over. MC, you better look over your shoulder. Yeah, you know, we're bringing it on. Oh, well, no. Skindred, we're in your area. When you rock out, you know it's superior. Yeah, you know, we're bringing it on. Well, now, nobody gets out of this, your paper line. Nobody gets out of line. Nobody gets out of this, your paper line. Nobody gets out of line. Nobody gets out of this, your paper line. Nobody gets out of this, your paper line. Nobody gets out of line.
We're talking about Dub War, and
yeah.
you kind of getting back together. You got a new album called Westgate Under the Fire. So tell me about Westgate Under the Fire. Because
Westgate Under Fire.
Yeah, so tell me
well,
about
basically what it was, like, when you get 2 years off and you're used to traveling around the world, I was with Skindred, obviously, and the pandemic hit, and Skindred were writing a bunch of shit. But no disrespect to them boys, they don't write very quick. They take their time, and I'm home doing nothing, so I'm in my studio all the time, every day. So I said to Richie, the bass player from Dub War, I said, you fancy just knocking up some music and doing some stuff? And we had to do all this from, like, what do they call it, remotely or whatever,
yeah,
like, you know, yeah, so we couldn't even get together. So Richie was knocking up these bass lines, Jeff was playing some guitar, we had a click to it like this, and we got a drummer to play on some of the songs. Then I had the idea to reach out to some fans of Dub War who are drummers, who I know are massive fans, and I know that they wasn't doing anything. They were at home doing bugger all, like, you know. So I reached out to Mike Borden, you know. Well, exactly, yeah. I reached out to Mike Borden from Faith No More. Mike was like, you know, I'm not really in the mood. I said, come on, Mike, man, come on, bro. You know, I said, all you gotta do is find a little studio and get the drum tracks laid, send it back to me. He said, I'm gonna pass. I said, I put the phone down. 10 minutes later, the phone rang again. He said, oh, dude, I'm in, fuck it. And that was beautiful, like, you know what I mean? Because he said, I couldn't miss the opportunity to work with Dub War, you know what I mean? And he laid the track. There's a song on the album called Get Back Up. And then it was the same with Roy from Soulfly, who played with Stone Sour. I hit him up. He was more than welcome to do it. Tanner Wayne, a kid from a band called In Flames, he played drums. And Spike, a friend of mine who I've known for years, he played with Killing Joke and Bad Brains and some other people. And Spike played on the one track. So we made it very... It's very Dub War, but it's really good because all the drummers heard the other drummers and they knew they had to step up, so everyone's like a dog with two tails. Right. And the energy on the Westgate Under Fire is so strong as well. And I wanted something which, like, the Westgate is a place where the Chartists, there was an uprising called the Chartists, and that was where the Chartists were slaughtered outside the building in Newport. You know what I mean? So it means a lot, and they were slaughtered for democracy, and that was the first uprising in the UK, and it was in my hometown. You know, so I wanted to celebrate that with the music, like, you know, and everybody was on board.
So we're going to talk about it because it's really important. So you got the first thing was called Black Man with 3Ks.
That's right.
Inspired by George Floyd.
Yes, yeah.
Well, words can't even explain.
Yeah.
Watching that.
Yeah, well, exactly.
On TV.
Yeah.
And you're obviously inspired to write a song.
Of course.
So
well, I was here. Where you at? We were drinking a bottle of wine, and Richie sent me a cassette. He sent me a piece of music on the computer, and so what I do in the morning when I'm listening to music, I put it up in the house, and I open that window and I just let the music play on repeat. And as I was there, Black Man, this piece of music, and with the George Floyd Black Man, the words just fell into me. You know what I mean? No one chooses the skin they're in. If the skin should the skin you're in make you win, you know, and all that stuff. And it's like I was thinking of Floyd. But it's not. I think George was just the thing that broke the camel's back. Right?
As a black man. As a black man. Yeah. I was born right in this country. Was it in 67 or 76?
There's a lot more going on than that.
So let's talk briefly about racism. So as an artist of colour, especially, I know, you know, Cass has told me from Skunk and Nancy when they go to certain territories, they'll be, you know, they're blatantly racist.
Yeah.
Treat them differently. It's happened to you and here in this country.
Yeah, of course. It happens all the time. And sometimes it happens so frequently I don't even know what's happening. It's just a normal, and which is sad. And my bass player Dan always says to me, "Dude, I can see what's going on. I can see they're treating you so different." I'm like, Dan, I can't even. It's sad enough to say I can't even see it like that, because you're so used to it. Innovated racism just coming at you all the time, and you don't even know it. You know. But he sees it, and he said to me that he swore that anytime he sees that from now, he's going to stand with me. You know, because he's seen it before in the past. He's a younger guy than myself, so we've seen it for a long time. I don't feel it like that. I think I'm thicker skinned, you know. And plus, I'm from the Love Thy Neighbour generation. You know, we grew up with all this stupidity, and it was the norm not to see black people on TV. You know, it was the norm. So you grew with that. And my father was the sort of guy who said, "Well, we got to take a back seat. That's what we do." And my brother was Rasta. He was like, "Fuck that! I ain't taking no back seat." You know, my father would stand up when they played the national anthem, bro. Yes. But it wasn't coming from a stupid place. It was coming from, that's what he felt like he had to do, you know. And that's what we had. My brother was like, "No, man, I ain't doing that." And that's when the Rasta thing and the rebellion thing come in, you know. But I think with certain aspects of racism, it was that long and that strong that you never even knew it was there. You know, when you're watching them TV shows and they say it's like when I watch a lot of 70s sitcoms. And some of the shit you hear on there, bro.
The English ones.
Oh my God, the English ones are unbelievable, mate. It's unbelievable, like, you know. You watching it going, I'm watching fucking Alf Garrett with your hands to your face. It's like I said, even Rising Damp and shit like that. I'm watching, and I didn't think it was there before, but now.
You see it, right?
But you know what? The good thing about it, we're seeing it now for what it is, you know, and that's what matters. We're going forward now, and it's the same with the trans thing and all that. We're going forward. People are accepting people for what they are.
Right.
You know.
So the second single, which is out now, "War in a Babylon," featuring the legendary, God rest his soul,
that's right.
Rankin Roger from The Beat.
As a kid growing up, I always loved ska music, the British wave of ska. You know, Selector, Beat, Specials. I was influenced by that kind of music growing up, you know, and I always wanted to make music which brought people together. You know, unity kind of sound. So. Meeting Rankin Roger for me was incredible as a kid because I had his pictures on my wall, you know what I mean? So meeting Rankin Roger, talking to Roger, and then we started discussing what kind of music we checked for, you know, and we talked about the punk rock music, talked about, you know, in the 70s, brought people together. And I said it'd be cool if me and you got together in a studio with my band Dub War.
So how did you get to meet Rankin Roger? Oh, you got mutual fans?
It's funny because when I was a kid, I'm talking 14, 15, even younger, The Beat, the Specials, the Selector, all these bands were in their heyday. I mean, like the Beat and the Specials. You got to remember, like the Beat and the Specials were like Ed Sheeran when I was a kid, like everywhere. So when they came to town to play a show, I was an orphan. I couldn't go to the concert. So I love the band, and I go and stand around the concert with everybody dressed in the full ska attire, the braces, the boots, and all that stuff. And I'd be there with Crombie on, but I couldn't get in the concert because I couldn't afford to go to the concert. But I knew they were there. Years later, fast forward, I was in Newport, and I was just signed with Dub War to Eric. And I looking around, I see the flyer saying the English Beat are playing in Newport. And I so happened to be able to get in the club to watch them, and it wasn't packed. It was quite, they got not a lot of people in there. And I got to the front, and I just stood in awe watching Rankin Roger. And this is when they had the old saxophone player too, the older guy, because I remember watching Top of the Pops. They had this old black guy, and he was old then. By the time I got to see him, like 10 years later, he was fucking well old, And I think they called him Saxa. Anyway, I watched Rankin Roger. I didn't say anything to him. I was just in awe. I'm thinking, fuck, I had this guy's pictures on my wall. Didn't think nothing of it. Okay, so watch the show, it was fantastic. Fast forward now, 10 years again. I'm backstage and my manager came in. He said, "This is Tarquin, Bench. This is Roger." And I looked and I went, "That's motherfucking Rankin Roger." He said, "Hey, nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah." I said, "Yeah, nice to meet you too." We started talking about music, started talking about growing up, and I told him about the story about me coming to see him and how I couldn't get in and blah. And he said, "We got to make some music." And I was like, "What?" He said, "Yeah, man, I'd love to feature on a tune, or you could feature on one of my tunes." And I was like, "Wow." I said, okay. And I already wrote War in Babylon. And I was saying to him, "Do you like Max Romeo?" And he said, "Yeah, I love Max Romeo." I said, "I got a punk rock version." He said, "What?" I said, "I got a punk rock version of War in Babylon, man. I'd love to send you, and you could do some vocal on there." And he said, "Send me the tune." So, bro, I sent Roger the tune. Within 4 weeks, I had it back with his voice on there, and I was like, "Wow!" This is in the early 2019, early, and a few weeks later, he passed away, man. Yeah. So I never even got to listen to it properly and see. But I mean, it was so cool because I had his number on my phone, and I remember I was sitting in the house, and I looked, and it said Rankin Roger. Because it started ringing, I picked it up. I went, "Hello," and Roger said, "Yes, brother, you okay?" I said, "Yes, sir." And he said, "I've done a tune." He said, "It's a bit of a weird key for me." I said, "Bro," I said, "Let me send it to him, and we'll sort it out." He sent it to me, and just sat there, tears in my eyes, listening to this tune, and then, like I said, that was even before he passed. But then when he passed away, and I reached out to the estate, and I said, "Look, is there any way that you can give agreement for this song to go out and let the people hear what we did?" And they said, "Yeah." So there it is, man. War in Babylon.
Lovely. So that's out now.
When come pride, then come and shame. Yeah. A man pride shall bring him low, yeah. Oh yeah. Man shall uphold the humble spirit. And you know that it's true. Oh yeah. War in a Babylon. Tribal war in a Babylon. It's simple out there. You know we tried out there. Oh no. War in a Babylon. Tribal war in a Babylon. It's simple out there. You know we rise out there. 'Cause there's a war in a Babylon.
The album Westgate Under Fire.
Westgate
coming
Under
out
Fire.
5th of August.
That's
this
right.
year.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, I missed your show at the 229 Club, which
That was
played in
great,
December. Yeah, I was lovely.
That was. I'd go there again.
It's a
In that,
fantastic
even in that small room. I mean, I know the big room's amazing. That big room's amazing,
But
man.
the small one.
Yeah, the small one's great, man. Yeah.
With Earl Slick and
Yeah.
Earl Slick, who played with Bowie and Rankin
That's right.
Roger.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that club is really cool. But we're going to do another tour.
Great.
But what we're going to do, I think we're going to do a show. Believe it or not, we're going to do a show the day of release in Newport at the Westgate Hotel.
I might come.
Right?
my
I think it'd be worth you coming
Yeah,
down,
I
bro.
think so.
We're going to do that show in the Westgate on the 5th of August, and then I think we're going to do some acoustic sets around the release of the album.
Wonderful.
But we're going to do a full-on British tour November, December. So
Right.
let the people get to know
And
the
it
new
must be
music.
so great. I want to schedule
Yeah,
a
yeah,
set
yeah.
before we finish. So it must be great. Like I say, lockdown, and it affected all musicians as well as the crew. And
Yeah,
everyone.
of course. Well, that was
You know,
that was for me. I get PRS.
Yeah,
it's
of course.
not amazing, but it's
No.
something. But then man, I look back and I say, the crew people I've had for like 15 and 20 years, the same people,
Yeah.
and they're affected big time. And when I'm not on tour, they're on
They're
tour
not
with somebody
working.
else. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they
exactly.
and when there's no one doing it,
Yeah.
so that really hit me for six that day, because I know a lot of them was in pain. So it's good that they opened the gates again and we do what we all do.
Yeah. Before you got back with Dub War, a couple of guys you formed Skindred.
Yeah. I'm fucking still a hood rat, man. I'm still living in a hood, getting involved in all sorts of shit. For that 40 minutes that they stand in front of us, at least I can say, I brought the world together. I've only been good at the music thing.
You know, what do you want to be when you grow up? I'm going to be in a fucking band. I think it's music that keeps us alive, keeps us together.
But I really believe it's ordained that us 5 guys should be together and make the music that we make.
So the first time I saw Skindred, I think I went to, I love it. I saw Skunk and Nancy the other night, and they say hi to you.
Yeah.
Love you.
Oh,
Big
yeah.
love, Big love for Skindred and you. So I went to the Academy in Bristol. Great little venue.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
And I saw you, and I was just like, I was saying to Mark Anthony on the way here, you know, and to you as well, it's all good listening to the music and getting inspired, but for me it's about the live performance and seeing the actual artists, musicians perform, and then you can see them close up if you manage to get near the front.
Yeah.
And it's just like, totally get it. So I get to see you, and I'm just like, wow. And then I meet you, the coach afterwards. And
That's
I'm like,
right.
I'm Freddie Cass.
That's right. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So then we came to see that there's I'm trying to say big up to Banquet Records. They do. They've got a little record shop in, well, not little, but a record shop in Kingston, and they have this deal where when you buy the album, you get to see a live performance of the band for an extra $5.
That's right, isn't it?
Brilliant.
And
So
where's that to Kingston, isn't it? In the UK.
Yes.
I thought you meant Jamaica, but yeah,
No,
I
yes,
played there, and it's a great
So
venue.
I came
And it
cast to
reminds
see
me,
you.
actually reminds me of an old disco.
Yes,
You know, it's
like
got
an
that.
old nightclub.
Yeah, it's like an old
so
70s
cool.
nightclub. It actually reminds me of one of them old. There used to be a great venue in Cardiff called I can't remember the name. And Rock City, the Top Rank.
Okay.
Rock City was one as well. It was a trainer from called the Top Ranks. That's what it reminds me of, that Kingston show.
So I came with Cass, and you say to me, you know, I should believe when people say they're friends with Cass. I was so funny. I knew it was so lovely because you've known Cass from
from long time.
And and then I came and saw you because we both love music, and you send me music, I send me music. It's
That's
about
right.
sharing the love.
Of course.
I went and saw the Virgin Marys who first supported this Skunk and Nancy years ago. And they supported you.
Yeah, they did, didn't they?
Amazing barn.
Yeah.
Another great venue.
Yeah,
for Halloween.
What's that? The KKs?
Yes.
What a fantastic venue, and they got all the rehearsal spaces upstairs.
Yeah.
See, that's what makes me like it makes me so happy to see venues opening. You know what I mean? I'm keeping the music alive. You know, definitely.
So the Virgin Marys supporting you, and then I videoed you, and I was just like, oh my god. I say, for me it's about the performer, and
That's what we do.
You're so diverse, and your musical taste.
Like I said, being a black kid from Wales, you gotta be diverse. You know what I mean? And the punk rock thing and the rock thing, and even like I'm still being inspired by hip hop and the drum and bass and stuff like that. It's just, rebel music is rebel music, you know. And it doesn't matter whether it's being played by a black kid or a white guy. It's just rebel music, and you can identify with it. And that's what I just continue to do.
So you've done 7 albums with Skindred.
I know.
And the last year with John, the producer.
James Lab.
James.
I call him James LaRock. It's easy.
Okay.
I can't pronounce his last
name. Are you guys working on a new one?
We've just finished recording. We went to a beautiful studio in Worcestershire called Vader. If you ever get the chance to go there, great guy who owns the studio, Matt Terry. We finished the album there, and it was really funny because I was writing this Dub War album and a Skindred album at the same time, and it was like I had to keep topping. It was so good because the Dub War stuff was amazing, and the Skindred stuff is just as rock. And I'll play you some of the Skindred stuff soon. It's just like, I just feel like this 8th album that we've just written is going to turn some heads. I really do. And I don't feel like, it's 8 albums deep. Yeah, okay, but I don't feel like I've done what I've come to do yet. I think I still feel like when I look at it, if it's a ladder, I look at it like Skindred's on step number 4. And we got like 50 to go.
My favourite is Kill the Power.
Great album.
I was playing
Great album, yeah.
Mark Anthony in the way with
Great album.
Ninja and Kill the Power.
Yeah.
So you did, with Skindred, have you toured a lot in America?
We done great in America. Nobody was like number 1 in alternative rock. We did Conan O'Brien. You know that TV show?
Oh, yeah, that's
we did. Exactly. We did Conan O'Brien. We had a good time in America. We had a month of like doing some big stuff. Like I said, that's where I met Jada and Will Smith, and they were coming to shows and people like that. And we're playing in Los Angeles, and we had a good moment in the sun in America. We tasted a good life. Really did.
With the new album,
bro. I'm a believer that we ain't started yet.
Great. And also you DJ. So tell me what you play when you DJ.
Okay, well,
you're a man of such eclectic
I
taste.
play what I want.
I love that.
I normally get up on it's normally a Friday or a Saturday, so I'm in London or Manchester, Birmingham. I go all over the UK. I've even flown away to do DJ sets. And I play what I want. When I get there, I say, ladies and gentlemen, I've been invited here tonight to play some of my own music or play some music for you all. If you do have any requests, I don't want to fucking know what they are.
I love that.
Right?
So
and it's true, because I'm not, write it down over there.
Yeah.
Write it down, I'll put it in the bin.
Too,
I'm not interested. I said, you know what? The guy who's coming after me, he can play all you fucking want, bro. I'm playing, I've been invited to play what I want. Yeah. So I play a lot of, for want of a better word, new metal. I like that stuff. They call it Slipknot and Korn and Deftones.
Yeah, you played on Download. You replaced
John.
I saw them once.
Yeah.
At Brixton, and they were Jonathan Davis.
Oh, geez, amazing, mate. Oh, Jonathan's to die for. He's fantastic. The way he performs on stage and the way he does, and he's such a beautiful soul as well.
Yeah.
He ain't one of them people who go, hey man, he actually is a beautiful soul,
So you sang Adidas.
I did sing Adidas. Yeah, that was pretty much a trip,
And you're playing Download.
We're playing. I think Kiss, and then there's about something.
Kiss. Oh, wow.
Day to Remember, and we are playing on the Friday. I think we should be on about 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'm quite excited about that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's a big shoes.
How different is that crowd to when you do the tour? Because it's obviously they're there for.
Listen. I'm a preacher. I love preaching. But
do,
it's easy. It's easy to preach to those who are there to see you. But
yes, that's true.
I love the challenge of. Who the fuck is these?
Yeah, I love
that. Bro, I tell you what, you give me a pub full of people who've never heard of us, I'll be happier. Because I love going on there, because I know, yes, I'm blowing my trumpet, I know I can sing like a motherfucker. I can sing, right?
Yeah.
And I know I can do the reggae thing really cool, the dancehall's craziness, and I can do the scream. That's what I'm saying. But I love playing a show and seeing people who've never heard of us. That's why we don't get supports very often. But we did a support tour, I think it was about 4 years ago, with Disturbed. And I'd say 75% of the people who were coming to them shows never heard of us before. And I'm pretty energetic, and I'm pretty, and I was saying to David Cameron before the show, because David said, I want you to tour with us because I know you're going to kick my ass every night. And I want to step up and know what I got to do. And he killed me every night. He's a fantastic friend, man. And so that tour, I was playing in front of people who were like, and it's funny because when I go on stage, I got the feathers, I got the hats and the clothes,
cool
the glasses, I got all that stuff, and people are like, who the fuck is this? And they're looking at me like this. And the thing is, I always look at people and they're looking. When you show a puppy a ball for the first time, and they go, and that's what I'm seeing people doing. But then at the end,
you win them over,
bro. And that's the word, winning them over.
Yeah.
And that's what we found. I mean, listen, we've played every stage in that fucking Download, and now we're on the main at a good time. Right. But we've gone through all the ranks and done our thing, and it's about building. It's about building. And we ain't, like I said, I say it again, we ain't where we want to be, and but you know what? We're better off than we were. So, you got to take the smiles, you know what I mean, and dry the tears. That's it.
Yeah. But Benji, been such an honour, because not only are you one of my favourite artists and performers, but you're such a lovely guy, and you and Julie have made us so welcome. So
bro,
thank you so much.
My castle, your castle, baby. Yeah, man.
And yes,
keep watching, rocking.
Keep watching.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you.